Pat. Just saw your comment as the first bubble that popped up saying howdy everyone. We'll give everybody about 60 seconds or so to arrive as we're doing this. So topic for today, just to highlight it, is I'm certified. I just got certified, or I have a certification, or I have a college degree, or whatever the case is. Now, how do I land a job? Like I thought by, the most common one since the realm of technology I'm in is, I thought if I got my CCNA, I would suddenly have doors open, and I'm struggling or running into having a job. So, like I said, we'll give. I saw somebody from Carson from Mesa. Not too far from me right now, my friend. So great to have you with us. Give folks another 30 seconds to show up, because once the live stream goes live on YouTube, there's a delay where everybody comes in. So these are by the way my morning walk and talks. Just about every morning I'm doing this. There's just one morning where I say, let me bring my phone with me and get to going. Usually, just about every morning I do about a 2-mile walk. Helps me process, think, pray over the day. So actually, you know what? I want to pray for you guys right now, because I know a lot of people listening to me are struggling to land a job, and that's hard. So let me just pray to get us started, and then we'll dive right in. God, you are awesome. Thank you for bringing all these people to this live stream. Thousands of them will end up seeing it when it's done. I pray that you would open minds, open hearts, open doors for each person here, so that they can do something that they love. In Jesus' name, amen. So let's get started. So two things sparked this topic. One is I was talking to a guy on my son's baseball team. Hopefully he's not listening. This isn't bad, or he wouldn't mind me relaying this, but it made me suddenly realize. So he got COVID. He works at a job, non-technology job, right? And he ended up with COVID, had to take a month off of work, pretty much burned all his PTO, and was then taking some unpaid time because he was out of time. And so he just had started back up. And I said, well, I mean, how is it? It's been you've had a month down. Does it feel good to get back into the swing of things? And he looked at me and goes, no. He said, I hate my job. I hate what I do. He said, I could stay home for forever. And I'm like it took me a sec to remember, oh yeah. And this is not at all saying, everybody should love their job and all, but I really do love what I do. It's if I wasn't getting paid, I'd still do it. It's just, and to remember, oh yeah, there's millions of people out there that literally just hate what they do, and so I'm opening the whole door. So that's it. And the second thing is your little bubbles, the little thought bubbles, like Jatan saying I'm enrolling for a bachelor, hope I will get a job in the future. That's where I get a lot of these ideas for these walk and talks. So literally somebody, as I reviewed some of the comments from a few posts ago, someone was like, hey, I just got my certification, but I can't get a job. What do I do? And I was like, that's a great title. So here we are. 4 minutes in, let me get started. First off, know that getting an education, whether it would be a certification or a college degree, I kind of put them both in the same bubble. They are something that shows to an employer you've got some skill, right? There's something that you have some skill, you have some discipline to be able to make it through. So that's one thing. So the reason I say that is put that in one bubble and say, okay, I have a skill. Now, how do I land a job? That's a completely different skill. And that's the first thing I want you to realize is there's nothing in the CCNA that prepared you for landing a job. There's nothing in college that prepared you for landing a job, most likely. It's just more of like education. So first off, know and feel a bit of comfort knowing that landing a job is a skill in itself, and there's probably nothing that prepared you for that other than Google and landing it like, monster.com and typing in a profile or something like that. Well, how do I do this? There is a method to this. So my point number one is start to learn the method. I brought my little note card because I had so many thoughts that I could say on this. Okay, so stepping back one more, there is a method to land a job. First off, realize, because we can be so thoughtful, like I got to get a job, I've got bills, I got to realize first off, both you and the employer are taking a massive risk. And I can tell you this from being on both sides of that table. I've been an employee for a long time. I've been an employer for a long time. I know what it's like to see from both angles. So let me open your mind a little bit to things that have happened since I've started a company. I've hired people that have stolen things from me, not just literal physical objects, but literal, they'll grab a credit card and start, running up charges. They'll steal cash. I've had that happen. I've hired people that begin stalking internal employees to where, and these are things you don't think of, but it happens, and you're like, oh my gosh, I hired a stalker. I've hired people that have yelled at my customers to where I have customers, hey, I hired you to do a job, and I literally have employees that are screaming at the customers because they just had a bad day or whatever the case is. So yeah, of course, from an employee's perspective, you're taking a risk getting a job that you wouldn't like, but the employer's taking a massive risk as well in hiring you. So first off, remember that paradigm. And the reason I say that is that should be a key ingredient to your process. I am moving into a company that has a culture. I'm a risk. How do I minimize that risk, right? So that should be number one. What is the employer thinking? So the employer is thinking, I have a need. I need a network engineer. I need somebody to do this. A lot of times they can't even enunciate it. They'll put a job description together the best they can. They're just like, I just need somebody to solve the issues. A lot of times, I can say, there's been people that I've hired that revealed needs I didn't even know I had, in a great way, to where I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was so much of a problem until you arrived, and now it's like my eyes are open. I'm like, man, this is just yet a whole nother level, right? So know that first off, they are taking a major risk in hiring you, in hiring anybody, right? So how do you minimize that risk? First thing is to get beyond the resume. That's my point number one. Burn the resume, drop the resume, and some of you are like, great, because there's so many things you read that you're like, how do you make your resume stand out? How do you, and I'm like, don't, because when an employer puts a job posting out there, you know how many resumes they get? Hundreds, if not thousands of resumes for every job posting that they have. And I've been there, and like, you go numb to it. It's you stop seeing the resumes as people, and you look, you're like, nope. I mean, if they write a letter, you're like, skip it. Okay, no, like, because it's so much time to review all of those things. So even having a great resume that, you flip the page and it smells like lilacs, right? It's like, that smells good. Flip. It's the resume will put you right at the same bar as everybody else. So how do you get beyond that? How do you minimize the employer's risk and help them to get to know you? Well, what people would call this is networking, right? Oh, you got to start networking. And everyone's like, what's that mean? Well, let me tell you what it means. It means start living out loud. Start learning out loud. Start, LinkedIn is your friend. Like, I talked to a guy, he's like, oh, LinkedIn, it's owned by Microsoft. That's the corporate. I don't even want to go. And I'm like, huh? like this is a social platform designed for businesses to find employees and employees to find businesses, and you're like, no, it's corporate. I'm not going there. I'm free, or what? I'm like, okay, well, good luck. You're free. That is, by the way, LinkedIn is your number one social platform. Thank you, Jatan. It's like, what? Yeah, it's like people are crazy. I've hired a lot of crazy people, and some of them are amazing. So the point. Starting out, okay, what does that mean? That means you have a job, you have a sphere of technology that you know, or you have a skill that you're good at, or something you want to grow in. Okay, go on LinkedIn. Start finding other people who are also good at that skill. Start finding employers who are posting for that skill. No, not the job posting. Everybody goes after the job posting, right? I'm talking go after the people. This is networking, right? Oh, it looks like the manager over at Intel just posted an article on LinkedIn on, the aerodynamics of something. That's interesting. Let me read that article. Let me comment on that article. Let me comment on their next article. Let me see if I can connect with them. Hey, great article that I saw you write in there. Would love to connect, well, oh no, I didn't get a response. Don't worry. Just so you know, on LinkedIn, I probably have 2,000 plus pending responses because I have constant, but every now and then I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Or I'll look at a post and I'll look at some of the comments on that post, right? So start commenting and then add a little value. Hey, saw that you posted on the benefits of using OSPF over EIGRP. Just wanted to add in there, it would be great if you also talked about summarization. And matter of fact, I wrote a little article myself on my LinkedIn profile that talked about this. I have hired people on the spot. When I look at their LinkedIn profile and I see all of the articles that they've written, I'll call them. Hey, can we have a quick call? I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Can we have a quick call? I call them. I'm like, I love what you're writing, and I would love if you could do some of that writing for us, or explain. Tell me what you're excited. Like that is how you start minimizing the risk. Is you look at the folks that you're trying to jump in that organization, and you start showing them your capability. Good morning. Let's talk about something else. How about a video? Yeah, what I'm doing with you right now. What a massive way to minimize the risk. How do I get to? So I've got all these resumes, right? Okay, there's a guy named Sam Worcestershire. Worcestershire sauce, right? Sam Worcestershire. Okay, I don't know Sam from anybody. Seems like his resume is okay. He's kind of new, getting started in this. What do I have to do? I have to have an interview. Most of the time, it goes through multiple phases. I have to call him, have to talk and go, okay, got it. So 30 minutes of my time there. Okay, maybe he's good. Let's bring him in for an in-person interview. Hour, right? So an hour of my time. I'm talking, okay. Let's bring in some of the team and have them, because again, if you hire too fast as an employee, or employer, I should say, you end up with a lot of those people that will not be good for the company. So again, look at it from their perspective. As an employer, you have to invest hours, days in finding that right person. So if someone were to put a video out on their LinkedIn profile, if somebody were to email me and say, hey, attached is my resume, it just gives you a background, but click this link. It goes to an unlisted YouTube video, and it's personalized for me, the employer. Like, I'm like, oh, it's a 5-minute video about I was just saying, hi from Siberia, but I couldn't pronounce the name. I was going to use that name, but I can't. Hey, it's Bill. Bill is interested in joining, and okay, and I've got a 5-minute presentation from Bill. Not even a presentation, a 5-minute hey, I'm Bill. Let me give you a little about myself. I was doing this. I got into this. This is my little background. Like, give them what you think they would even ask you in the interview to start off with. create a video. Now, and I know some of you will be like, well, Jeremy, I'm not like you. I know it's easy for you to create video. You're creating videos on your morning walk, right? Yeah, it is. But first off, know that this is a skill, just like anything. I wasn't good at video. Just when I was born, I'm like, I'm going to be a video guy. Like it's something that you practice. And also know, if you're applying for jobs, you're going to be in an interview at some point. That's a little more stressful than than a video, right? A video you can try it, like, no, delete, try again. 500 times later, you're like, I'm going to try again, right? You have an edit button. You can do it again and again and again. It will not only help you with your overall skill, but it will help you prepare for interviews in ways that you never even thought possible. And again, I'm going back to the employer's perspective. Talk about moving you to the top of the stack. If there's a video interview where I've a video, I call it a presentation, but a video from that person who is explaining who they are and their background, that saves me a lot of time on questions, and I can get kind of a feel for how that person might fit the culture just based on that interview. I mean, tell them, or that video, I keep saying interview, but that's really what it is. You are moving to the top of the stack, right? Okay, enough on that. You've heard that enough. Okay, second, and these are all kind of blurring together. Find cool companies and target them. Don't spray and pray. The common advice, and I hear it all the time, is get your resume and go to hundreds of companies. Hundreds. What are you doing? Like, you're gonna end up like my baseball friend. You maybe land a job that you hate, making, I don't know, cinnamon rolls, because like you're not really investing in that. You're just kind of, I need a job, and I get it. We all do. But if you take that same time that takes to spray this resume to 1,000 companies, first off, know that if you're spraying a resume and it doesn't have any personal letter or anything like that, it's just going to the bottom of the stack. You're probably not going to get a call on that. You're one of thousands that unless your resume, makes coffee when somebody opens it, it's not going to stand out, right? So take the time that you would invest in spraying all these different companies, and just find a few that you're like, that's a cool company, whether they be big, small, whatever. I mean, there's thousands of companies out there. They're looking for people, and I think you can provide value to them, and so do you. So target them, right? Go on LinkedIn. This is why I keep saying LinkedIn. Go to that company. Click on the little Find Employees button. Yeah, you found their job posting. Great. Time to start doing what I mentioned back in step number 2. Who's the employees here? Who would be a decision maker? Who would be a manager at this company? Who would you guess to start clicking? Oh, wait a sec, I know that guy. Like those kind of things happen. And that's Ramar. I'd do it if I could. Someone said, hire me, Jeremy. See, there you go, making that personal connection. So target them, and then going back to number 2. This is what I mean by networking. Start networking and going through that. So, third. So where am I at? Number 1, burn the resume. Network, create videos. And Gigi, I'm going to take that question in just a little bit. What about asking for experience? I'll talk about that in a second. So 1, burn the resume. 2, find cool companies. And 3, nail the interview. How do you nail the interview? This is going to be tough. You have to grow in soft skills just as much as you have to grow in hard skills. Look at, and this, some people take offense when I say your soft skills need to improve. What do you mean? That should tell you something right there. What are you talking about? Like soft skills is how you relate to people. It's how you are with people. And this is a life process. This is part of growth as a human being, right? In the interview, learn how to connect with people. And this is where You know, this, it goes into that networking thing. If like there's a guy, I'm thinking of him right now. He may even be watching this. We've interviewed him 5 times. He is brilliant, technically, brilliant, like brilliant, but is so challenged in soft skills that we're like, I don't know, bring him in for another interview. Like, the reason we're doing so many interviews is he gets so nervous when he gets into that interview that, I mean, he clams up. He like simple questions take a really long time to answer. Like, okay, tell me, like, when did you move to Arizona? Long pause. Awkward. Tongue stuck to the roof of the mouth. Again, technically brilliant, but just missing the ability to communicate and interact with teams and people and things. Dogs. It's a skill. That's what I want you to understand. Oh, please let this come through. It is a skill. It's not natural. You're not born with the ability to just wow people at an interview. It takes practice. It takes dedication, working on yourself. Again, you spent the time investing in that certification. That's why you're like, okay, now I need a job. You need to invest in your skills as well. And people are like, oh, what do I need to learn how to take a public speaking class? I don't know. Where do you struggle? So I don't want to make it about me, because people will oh, well, you've got, so can I tell you? Let me give you a little bit about me that you may not know. When I married my wife, we went to premarital counseling. I know that's a thing, right? It was something my church did to make sure, like, okay, are you compatible? And the counselor came back and he goes, this could be a problem. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, so personality profile wise, your wife is an extreme extrovert. She enjoys social settings. She enjoys, life of the party, all that kind of stuff. And he said, you, my friend, are as far as they go on the introvert side. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And he goes, I'm saying that you would much rather be alone reading a book, thinking, than in a social setting. And that could, we were talking through that. So I said, how can this be? This is 20 years ago. How can that be? I'm just starting a profession as a classroom instructor. He goes, no. It's not, can you teach? It's how do you relate to people? Would you rather be talking with people, or would you rather be alone with your thoughts? And I'm like, well, yeah. And he's like, it's how you gain energy. And so long story short, if I were to rewind a few years before that, if you knew me in high school, you'd be like, who's that guy? What? Who's the guy with his hands in his pocket by the locker? Like, should we beat him up? You know what I mean? Like, socially awkward, not, how do I, now, and let me say, now, I actually enjoy random people on the street. I'll walk up and be like, hey, I'm Jeremy. Tell me, who are you? What, like, did Jeremy become an extrovert? Nope. I still, in terms of energy, would prefer just a quiet walk, hands in my pocket, thinking, processing, all that kind of stuff. But I've learned that there's a lot of great benefits I can get when I connect with people. When I am, that's where I want to stop right there, because I could go on my soft skills journey. It's just that. It's a journey of learning and awkward circle. So here's the challenge. Is most people think technical skills are things that you learn. Soft skills are who you are. No. Technical skills are things that you learn. Soft skills are also things that you can learn. things that you can, so it doesn't fit, like, it's different. Like, it's not like, okay, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So that's a technical skill, right? Soft skills is like, okay, this is weird. I don't like how this is making me feel right now. Like, I'm not, I don't know why I decided to just climb on this playground, but so this will be the first time on a live stream I go down a tube slide, right? Here we go. So I'm stuck. Oh no. So soft skills. Soft skills can be taught as well. Soft skills are things that you can learn. It's just a different kind of learning. And take it from me, the most awkward, hands in his pocket kid in high school that you probably would have beat up because okay. So Gigi, thank you for your smiley faces. So I want to go back to Gigi's question. Okay. So that's my 3 things, right? 1, burn the resume, burn it, or just put it to the side because that's not gonna set you apart. 2, and start networking video. So 2, find a cool company and target them. Don't spray and pray. Target them. Show show who you are. And 3, nail the interview. And that's just going to take growing in those soft skills. Okay, so Gigi asked the question. I want to bring this up. How do I handle it when all these employers want experience? And I know a lot of you are asking the same thing. I just got my CCNA. I don't have experience. This is where I'm going with a lot of the adding value, right? Minimizing the risk to the employer shows that you can do the stuff that you're talking about. So this is where you follow that person. Find out what are they posting, or create your own post. Hey, just want to show you something cool I did in my CCNA lab. I'm setting up OSPF between these 2 routers. Had this ping, it was broken. Create a little blog entry. Again, create a little video showing. And again, I'm not saying everybody has to become a video person. So please don't walk away hearing me say that, because you can write, you can create videos, you can add value in some way. So employers, yes, experience is the easy thing to look for. When you're an employer and you're looking and going, okay, I could have a college degree, certification, or someone with experience. Experience wins every time. Everybody knows that. So generate, maybe that's the best way to say it, generate some experience for them. You got a certification. How'd you do that? Hey, you might want to go back and review that. You might want to create some posts showing people how they can get certified. You might want to jump into Reddit and start responding to a few of the questions where people are saying, I'm stuck. OSPF isn't forming between these 2 names. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen those posts. And you're like, I roll. Like, who would help that guy? You, right? You, and you figure out his issue. You post the solution, and then you add that to your LinkedIn profile and be like, hey, just was working through some OSPF troubleshooting. Oh man, did you hear that? I was just working through some OSPF troubleshooting based on this guy's Reddit, blah, blah, blah. Just thought I would share this post with all of you so you can see how I figured it out. Experience, right? That's where people are like, wow, and I'm just talking about one thing right there, right? Now, please know, I'm not saying it's easy. The guy's struggling on Reddit for a reason. It's not something that's crystal clear. You may spend 3 hours troubleshooting that before you come up with, you might spend a couple days, you might never get the solution. And that's fine too. Be like, hey, this is as far as I got. I'm stuck here, but I got a little further than you did. So I don't know, someone else want to join in, right? So maybe I can say it this way. MC, yes, labbing qualifies experience if you do it out loud. So MC's comment right there. Does labbing show experience? Yes, but you have to show it. This is what I'm talking about, learning out loud. Create a blog based on your lab, document your lab, put it on your LinkedIn profile. You're getting a theme on LinkedIn there, right? So live out loud. It does, thank you, Thomas, qualifies a lot. So shoot, I lost my train of thought when I was there. What was I saying? Experience. It was so good. There it is. Ha-ha. We go through high school, and then we go into college. and we pay tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars so that we can be taught, right? We go after a certification, we buy equipment, we struggle and study and all this stuff to get the certification. And then somebody says, why don't you do some free work? And something triggers in us where we're like, what? Free? I don't work for free. So because that's what I'm really telling you to do is when I'm saying learn out loud, lab out loud, live out loud, I'm talking about doing free work, going on Reddit and finding somebody's problem and spending 4 hours troubleshooting it. We're like, that's a waste of my time. Oh yeah? Was paying $10,000 to sit in a class and learn about calculus? That sounds attacking, doesn't it? I'm not saying at all. It's a waste of time, but our paradigms are off, right? There's nobody that we have to pay to get the experience of troubleshooting somebody's issue on Reddit. That's free. It's all just time. But our paradigm is such that, well, somebody's not teaching me something. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying. And again, so many, I love social media because people can get so offended at so many things. I'm not attacking college. I'm not attacking certification. I'm not attacking any of those things. I'm just saying that there's a paradigm when you talk to people about investing time and actually doing work to build their online profile or their soft skills. Sometimes people can get offended. They're like, I can't believe it. Like, I'm like, okay. That is what it is, right? So, okay. I am almost back home. We're about 30 minutes in. This has been a super fun conversation. Thank you guys for chatting in. And I see like 1 out of every 10 of the little bubbles of comments. So I got about 3 minutes before I get back. So let me just hit some of the comments that are right at the end here. So let's see. Rodrigo is saying, I am considering YouTube. There we go. I'm considering to do a CCNA to CCNP or AWS path now to get a better job. I've started my associate degree this year too. I'm currently doing sysadmin. I only want to get a better job as a sysadmin, network admin. It's great. It's great. And Rodrigo, what I would say is you're spreading yourself pretty thin there. You're going after what I heard. Just as I was reading it, 3 different certifications. You're going after associate's degree. You have an existing job. I'm like, wow, you're a busy guy. I would suggest shrinking it down. If you want to go after a sysadmin, do that. If you want to go after AWS, do that, and then start targeting companies that, for example, are wanting somebody with AWS. Really hone that in, because what I find when I do that, when I spread myself super thin like that, because I'm always learning as well. I'm just like you guys. I'm always learning something new. If I spread thin, I get 2 minutes into everything. And as soon as I hit a challenge, I'm like, let's jump over here. Because human nature is like, okay, I don't want to, it's taking too much time. I'm back to network engineering now. Ooh, this is fun. So you never get through. Good to see you too. Gigi, really true. I did a church network recently. It helped. Though. It's true. So there, actually, Gigi, you're opening a whole other door of conversation. Get work experience. Churches are great for so many reasons, but one of the things is most of the time they don't have that much money, so they don't have a full-time network engineer. So they might have a volunteer or something like that, and that volunteer could be you. Like you could gain a ton of experience with that. Walk into their MDF and it's a cable mess. It's going to take time. It's going to be an investment, right? So, okay, let's see. Last couple questions. Hannibal, I feel like all the work I put forth for my certs is paying off. I crammed 3 certs in 4 months. Oh, it's fading. 3 months and 4 months, and I can't find anything. Maybe it's the fact that I live in a small town. That is, Hannibal, that is a factor. But keep in mind, thanks, COVID. Right? I know, it's like, what did you just say? I said thanks, COVID, because there are now so many remote work possibilities. It may start at the help desk. It may start at, companies are like, oh, we can do this. We had to send all our employees home, And it worked out. And now we can save what? How much money every year on office space? I know I'm asking that question, right? So Hannibal, living in a small town, yes, that if you're looking for a job you go into physically, that can be a limiting factor. But know that the world, thanks to COVID, is now at your fingertips in terms of a job. All right, last comment. Bob said, I got lucky. I wanted to move to the network team. I got my CCNA and then transfer team as the pandemics started. Still continuing to learn. Yeah, and that. Okay, so let me take Bob's comment and wrap up our conversation by saying we are built, we are created, we are here for relationship, and there is nothing that replaces that when it comes to finding a job, right? Everybody's like, it's who you know, not what you know, right? That's the way that the people flippantly say it. But in one sense, it's true. It's, as Bob was saying, he got in at the right time. He showed his stuff. He got a CCNA, and his employer's like, all right, let's do this. And now, in the midst of a pandemic, he got a promotion, right? It's connecting with people so that they can know you, and that opens doors. Mandalorian comes to mind right now. When it comes to finding a job, this is the way. All right, that being said, I'll talk to you guys next Thursday, right? Great talking to you.